Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video in programming the finite element method using MATLAB. This video is of course part of a bigger video series talking about the finite element method, and if you by chance stumbled upon this video and you're wondering how we even got here, then there is another playlist that shows you all the videos in chronological order starting from the first all the way until here, which I will also link in the top right. Now in today's video we are going to be talking about releases, because those lines could be moment released in the ends to make them become truss members, and this is something that we need to do. Now, releases are basically the release of the line from a certain thing. For example, if you release it from moments, then the line at the end cannot carry any moment. So it's like an internal hinge. Now, of course, before I start, I want to mention that the source code of this video is once again available to my dear channel members. However, if you are not a channel member, then fear not, because every single line I will write is going to be shown to you. I'm not going to hide anything, so if you follow along, you will have also the same source code as me. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, now I want to do releases, so I need a new file. I'm going to save it and call it STRRelease. So now we want to have a release, so I'm going to class dev it, and I'm going to say STRRelease. So here I have class dev it, so I'm going to end the class dev to make it an object. And this object has properties and also has methods. Remember, properties are things that the release has, and methods are things that the release can do. Now for properties, it's going to be strange, because here is the thing. For a release, if I have a release at the line, then I'm going to add a dummy node and connect the dummy node to the beam. Now the connection between the dummy node and the beam is going to be done via springs, and the stiffness of the springs depends on the release. What this means is, if I, for example, release the moment around y, then this means that the spring stiffness around ry, or rotation y, is going to be very low, because it will not be able to resist anything of that sort. Similarly to how I dealt with supports, I'm going to deal with releases, which means I will be adding a new node at the end of a line that is being affected by a release. I know that the book Daryl and Logan deals with the releases differently, but I'm going to do something that is programming friendly. This is also how Autodesk Robot does it, so I'm on the safe side. However, I know that you might say that this includes extra complications to the finite element method, and you are right, because when I add a node, this would increase the number of equations by 6, which increases the calculation effort. And that's totally true. However, this way of defining releases is more consistent and is easier to handle without a lot of sweat. So I'm going to use this method, and you can of course improve on my code by choosing a different method. Now here for a release, I need to explain the release at the start and the release at the end. This means that I would need KUX for the start and KUY for the start. Those are the spring stiffnesses in various locations at the start. Also the rotation around X at the start, the rotation around Y at the start, and the rotation around Z at the start. Of course, I forgot to put a semicolon here, so let me do this very quickly. Those are the starting spring stiffnesses. I also need the same thing, but for ends. So I need the stiffness in the displacement direction X at the end, and stiffness displacement Y at the end, and stiffness displacement Z at the end. Also stiffness rotation X at the end, stiffness rotation Y in the end, and stiffness rotation Z in the end. Those are the things I need to define a release. Also, of course, I need the typical ID and name, because I need a name and an ID for that thing, and I think I am well within what I want to do. It stands to reason, once again, to use the STR node, I think it was node or support, constants. I'm going to keep them the same. So let's see, those are the constants of the STR support, the rigid and free. So I'm going to put them here in the release as constant properties. I know I just copy-pasted something, but this makes sense because maybe I want to treat releases different from supports. However, I will keep them both the same. All right, I think I am ready, and I can just do me here the constructor. So let's construct us a constructor. Function object equals the STRRelease of a lot of things. It's going to be ID, name, KUX start, KUX1, let's say, KUY1, KUZ1, KRX1, KRY1, and KRZ1. Those are the inputs. Also, then the KUX2, that's the end, KUY2, KUZ2, KRX2, and KRY2, and KRZ2. So those are the inputs that the user must input. Now, once the user inputs everything, I have to assign them to the object by basically a long story of simply taking the stuff that the user defines and adding it to the object. All right, so that's the big constructor. Then I'm going to make me a reporting system for that thing. So I'm going to say that we have a function that basically goes to string with an object, and let's make it. Wait, in the STR material? Yeah, okay, everything fine. Now here I'm going to take a page out of the support reporting system because it's going to be somehow handled similarly. So I'm gonna copy the entire code of the support to string, paste it in the release, and think about it. So my object here is, as I will show, to have a code for the start and a code for the end. So how can I do that? Well, first of all, this is going to be called release. It will not change the name and the ID. Here, I need to give it two codes. So I will put here an S for the start, and of course, everything here is going to be a start. Let's copy this to repeat things. Fantastic. And now I'm gonna, before this, this is gonna be very, very hard. I'll copy this entire code again and paste it. And here I need to change some stuff. So first of all, here, when he finishes giving me the starting symbol, I don't want to push the enter key. I'm gonna I'm gonna put an arrow here, and here I will call this the end and report the end. So now here I must write end every time. There is an error. Oh, yeah, I just don't need anything here. So that should be working. Now I need to just basically use the end everywhere instead of the start. And I think I would be done. I think. I might be wrong. Releases are notorious for their programming because it takes time. But it's time that we are going to invest here. Okay, it seems everything is fine, I guess. I guess everything is fine. Only one way to find out. Okay, let's go to main and check out if I can define a release by myself without using the controller, because the controller still doesn't know what a release is. So here I'm going to say release 1. I'm going to basically say STRRelease, and I'm going to define me a new release. So here it needs the ID, -1. Name, I will call it pin rigid. And for the KUX, I don't know, I'm going to use, so it's pin rigid, right? So pin means it doesn't stop any rotation. So 1E negative, for the displacements, it is rigid, so 1E15. Wait, I think I cannot write. 1E15 for the X, 1E15 for the Y, 1E15 for the Z. This is the rigid value. And then for the pin value, or for the free value, I'm going to say 1E-4, 1E-4 for the rotation, 1E-4 for the rotation. This means that I'm now asking it to have rigid connections in the displacement and pinned or free connections in the moment. That's what I'm doing here, to simulate a pin in the start. Then later, I have rigid in the end, so I need to give the 3 displacements and the 3 rotation stiffnesses at the end to be the rigid displacement and stiffness. Now let's see how release 1 is going to report itself. So let's take a look on that and push the F5 button. There was an error, it seems. Where is the error? I think I have 2 commas here. Let's delete 1 comma and F5 again. Wait, is it correct? Let's CLC and push the F5 again. There is an error again, I guess. Let's see. So this is here, and where is this? Okay, oh, there's another comma? What gives? Let's try again with F5, and this time it worked, and I can see that the release pin rigid of ID -1 has at the start rigid, 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 and trivial free for the rotations, and at the end everything is rigid. The only thing I dislike about this is I need a space here, so I go to the release and basically push the space bar here to kind of make it look cool. So this is the E, or I can just push the space bar here and run the main again and see it in its nice, cute looking glory. Fantastic. So now we defined our STRRelease, but we haven't put it inside the controller, nor the STR line. That's going to be the topic of the next time. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed. And in the end, I'm going to give an STRRelease sized shout out to my dear channel members in the contributor level and the helper level whose names are going to be shown on the screen. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, as their support to the channel is priceless to me and enables me to provide you with videos hopefully on time and with a certain quality I try to achieve, and for that I am forever thankful. In the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video and you found it beneficial. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and so on, especially subscribing because it helps increase the reach of my channel. As per usual, this is the Civil Engineering Essentials channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.